Welcome, everybody. We're here with you, episode 9 of the NextManUp Sportscast. That's right, episode 9. We're almost on our 10th episode, and it's been a wonderful journey. But yes, sports, right? Sports is a big part of our lives, and it's been a really big part of our lives post-pandemic, and it's been a really big part of our lives in general. And now we're on the brink of a delayed NBA season, and we're there. We're there, folks. We're in the Western and Eastern Conference final series. And I'm not going to say I called this, but when I was asked for a wild card team to come out of the West, I said the Denver Nuggets, and I got a lot of crap for it.
You live in Colorado. Relax.
I got a lot of crap for it. I picked the Nuggets, and lo and behold, the Nuggets are there. They came back twice from 3-1 deficits. Who has done that in the past? Which team has resolved to do that? Nobody but the Nuggets. Nobody but the Nuggets. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic have stepped up at different times and led those teams to victories in a lot of times where you didn't think they were going to win. I mean, they were down against the Clippers in Game 5 by 15. They were down against the Clippers in Game 6 by 19. And they had the resolve to come back and win those games. They were down at halftime today. And still, they beat the Clippers by nearly 20 points.
Let me just say this. You could talk all you want about Denver being your wild card. Yay. Lakers are going to win in 4. Clean sweep. Sweep. Right?
Let me just...
What the Lakers have, the Clippers don't have. You nailed it. Clippers were up by 16, by 20, right? That just proves how bad Denver is. Also proves how bad the Clippers are because they let Denver come back in all 3 games. You think LeBron and AD and all them are going to that? No. They're going to be up by 16. They're going to smash their throats. Lakers in 4, done. We're in the finals. Let's go to the East.
Let me just tell you this. If the Lakers don't win in 4 and it gets down to 3-1, you're going to be sweating it. And you know you are because it's just going to be a historic run if the Nuggets can do it 3-1 again. I don't know. I think you're kind of discounting the Nuggets. They got a really good squad and a lot of depth on that team, which if you've been following the Lakers, that's not really a strong suit of the Lakers. They don't have a lot of depth. They really don't. Who's their best player off the bench?
Okay, hold on. You're saying they don't have depth. They totally adjusted their whole lineup to play against Houston. They play without Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. They could play big. They could play small. Oh no, they have strong 10, 11 guys strong on the Lakers.
Oh, you're nuts. You're crazy. Yeah. They do not have 11 guys strong on the Lakers. The one guy I can count on off the bench to score points for the Lakers is Kyle Kuzma, and that's about it. Who else is going to come off the bench and score points? Caruso, on occasion, can score points. He's not a consistent point scorer, not a consistent contributor. He's not. Stop with that.
He's not a contributor?
Not consistent enough.
What?
There are games where you don't even realize that he's in the game.
Kuzma, okay, Morris, he started this series against the Rockets, small ball. Kuzma, Caruso, Morris, and then that new guy who they signed, a rookie for the G League. I don't know his name. He came out of nowhere. You still got J.R. Smith and KCP. Come on now.
Yeah, KCP. Look at the names you're dropping. Those aren't great names. Like you're relying. If your guy off the bench that you're relying on is going to be Alex Caruso, I think you got to give the advantage to the bench to the Nuggets with Mason Plumlee, Monte Morris, Michael Porter Jr. All these guys have been playing together cohesively with you, and a guy like Jokic just makes everybody around him.
Let's just remember this though. Lakers beat one of the best number 8 seeds in history in 5 games. Correct. The Lakers just beat this revolutionary new basketball style play, the Rockets, in 5 games.
So what you're telling me is they really haven't been tested by another great team.
I just said the Blazers are the best number 8 team in history.
I don't know about that because they were great, yes. And Damian Lillard got hurt. Just remember that Damian Lillard got hurt.
The last game.
Damian Lillard. Okay, but that makes a difference, right? The Nuggets just came back 3-1 twice.
Lakers in 4. Let's move to the East. Okay.
So Mandy's got the Lakers in 4. I got the Lakers in 7. I think they still win, but I think the Nuggets push them. And if it gets to a game 7, it's kind of up for grabs. But On the other side in the Eastern Conference, and this is, I believe it's the first time in a really long time, or it might be the first time ever, that the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be decided by two teams that are not the number 1 and not the number 2 seed. Where Celtics are the 5 seed, and I believe Miami's the 6th seed, or the 5th seed. Sorry, I believe Miami's the 5th seed. And today it just went to overtime, and Miami ended up edging out that victory when Boston, I believe, late in the third quarter was up like 12, 13 points.
Like,
so tell me about who you like in that series and why.
It's gonna be a dogfight. Don't get it twisted. This series is gonna be a complete dogfight.
Great defensive teams.
You see, yes, they're good defensive teams, but I told one of my guys today, in terms of their betting wise, take the over on all the games. Why? Because the line is gonna be so low. Okay.
Because they're good defensive teams.
But both teams, yes, they're good defensive teams, but both teams shoot the 3 ball very, very, very well. And
That's
that
true.
was evident today. Now I'll just say this, okay? I expect Boston to win this series. 6 games, whatever. Okay, 6 games. Heat, great team. Boston they should have won today. They choked. I don't think they're going to happen. It's not going to happen again where they're up by 12, 13 and choke it off. They were up by like 7 or 6 with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. I say Boston's going to win this series, 6 games. It's going to be a dogfight. Definitely be a dogfight. They play the zone defense. They play boxing 1. They play all these weird defenses here. Boston in 6. Boston, Lakers. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that?
I agree, but I disagree. I think the Heat are going to win this series, and I'm going to tell you why. I think, and we talk so much about how well the Boston Celtics are coached, but people are forgetting how great of a coach Spoelstra is.
Great coach.
He's an amazing coach. Everybody's like, oh, LeBron got him those rings. Like, no, Eric Spoelstra's an amazing coach, and look what he's done with the Heat team that he has. He's done big things. And let me tell you who the X factor in this series is. It's not Jimmy Butler. It's not it's not Bam Adebayo who was amazing tonight. The X factor in this series is a wily veteran, Goran Dragic. The guy scores when he wants to. You got to remember, Goran played with Steve Nash. He learned a lot from Steve Nash, and he's using that. And at times, he's the facilitator, and he's getting his team a lot of points. And he's getting his team a lot of assists, a lot of opportunities. But at times, he just takes over and he scores. Like tonight, I believe he had over 20 points tonight. I think Goran Dragic is the X factor. He's the one guy who's really been there and been a wily veteran for a team. And then, of course, the Heat have Iguodala with championship experience, Spoelstra with championship experience. I'm going to give me the guys who have been there. Give me the Heat. I'm going to say 7 games. I'll go 6 games, actually. I'm going to go 6 games.
I got Boston, LA, Lakers, not the Clippers. And you got Miami and Lakers.
Yeah, I got Heat, Lakers, LeBron playing his old team. I think that's a little bit more of a storyline for me.
I like it. So next up, man, you're going to give us a little wrap up on week 1 of the NFL fantasy football.
Absolutely.
All right. What you got?
Absolutely. So week 1 was pretty awesome. I mean, just to have football back was great. And then at the same time, to be able to watch it and keep track of stats was awesome. One guy I think that I don't think he's undervalued necessarily, but I think that people don't know how good he is. And I think week 1 was a glimpse into that. It is my team, but Josh Jacobs, they are opening up the playbook for Josh Jacobs, and you saw it. Not only did he have 93 rushing yards, he also contributed with about 46 receiving yards. And I'm just going to say this. Last year, the fantasy MVP was Christian McCaffrey. Josh Jacobs not only got more points than Christian McCaffrey, he outrushed Christian McCaffrey. He had more touchdowns than Christian McCaffrey, and he had more receiving yards and receptions than Christian McCaffrey. So look for Josh Jacobs to do some more special things with Vegas, to come. Another guy who I think is at the same time, he might be on the waiver wire for you right now, and I think he might be a steal as a second round, like as a backup quarterback. I don't think you start him very often, maybe in spots, but Mitchell Trubisky last week ended the game with 3 touchdowns and almost 300 yards, and he added about 35 rushing yards. That's a great line for a fantasy quarterback. And big ups to my guy Steve Barone for starting this next guy who I didn't think many people were going to start him, but Josh Allen for Buffalo. He would have had an even better day had he not lost 2 fumbles. But Josh Allen added 56 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, and 2 throwing touchdowns and threw for over 300 yards. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills aren't the same grinded out, run the football team that you expected them to be. They're airing the ball out, getting the ball to Stephon Diggs, to John Brown, to their tight ends, to their running backs. Zach Moss, a rookie who I told you to keep an eye on, had a receiving touchdown. So big ups to the Buffalo Bills.
Who did Buffalo play against?
They played the Jets.
Is that
played the Jets?
Are they in the ACC or are they in the Big 12?
They're in the Sky Conference, I believe. So Big Sky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Making sure.
Well, I mean, so I get what you're saying, but Josh Allen gets to play them again. He's in the same conferences.
No, you're right. But I'll say this though. 2 words. You want consistency?
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
Cam, you saw what he rushed 20 times.
Yeah.
He's gonna be this year's Lamar Jackson. Tell you right now.
That's a stretch.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Cam was a freaking animal. And who picked him? I did in 2 of my leagues. So
that is true. Mandy had that.
Feed Cam Newton, baby.
Mandy had that call early, and I think it's paying off. Cam Newton, yeah, I mean, McDaniels is definitely rewriting the playbook to tailor to Cam Newton. And I saw this crazy stat that in all of Brady's years with the Patriots, he had all these QB sneaks for rushing touchdowns and things like that. If Cam Newton's on pace that he started with today, he's likely to break that record in 1 season. And Brady took, 15 years to do it with the Patriots? So, yeah, Cam Newton's definitely on pace to do special things. I think he's going to play some more stout defenses than the Miami Dolphins, but I definitely think having the touches, having the looks favors Cam in that situation. And the last guy I want to talk about real quick, a guy that I told you to pick up before the season started, TJ Hawkinson, as a late round tight end, had a nice touchdown last week, seems to have a really good connection with Matthew Stafford. So definitely look for him to do some special things. Also, a guy, last one, a guy that I really like, Noah Fant out of Denver last night on Monday Night Football went off for about 86 yards and a touchdown and seems to have a really good connection with second-year quarterback Drew Lock. So definitely some guys to keep an eye out for. Maybe you might trade for. If you have them, start with confidence. So the next segment, I'm not going to lie. I had a hard time letting this one go because I love betting on sports and I love being the guy who gives you the information. But Mandy, he went 2-0 last week, and it was honestly, it was an easy 2-0. If you're a bettor and you put money on those games, you didn't worry about it. From early on, both his picks were, I hate to say it, but they were awesome. They were sensational, and I knew the Tampa was in trouble, like Mandy said they would be when Tom threw that pick 6. I knew it was over. So Mandy, big ups to you on your 2-0 start. I started 1-0. I started 2-0 myself. So let's see what you got moving forward here.
Technically, I'm 1-0 because the underdog should only count as just a low.
Yeah, that's true. Your lock is 1-0. Your underdog is 1-0. So big ups to you. I give you praise on that. I locked it in. I didn't necessarily put my electricity bill, but I did put some money on it, and it was nice. But next, moving on to your next lock of the week, Mandy's got the Los Angeles Rams -1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Who's the lock and why?
So this is a very interesting pick because if you saw the line yesterday, the Rams were underdogs. Huh. They were +2.
Interesting.
You go to today, okay, let's say today's, you open up today's
Wednesday,
okay? They're -1 now. The Rams are at a 3-point swing. Why is that? Because the Rams are good. First of all, like I said, they would. Right? You guys saw that Monday Night Football game? How they controlled the Dallas defense in the front 7? They're not exciting. Offensive line. That was you.
Hey, they were 1 play away from not winning that game, so keep talking. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
The Rams, okay, they're going to go ahead and do the same thing to control the line of scrimmage. Philadelphia, they have a bunch of guys hurt.
But they have a really good defensive line. So
the Rams have a really good offensive line. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a good match.
So -1, I'm taking the Rams. -1. They're going to go roll into that. They're going to roll into the season 2-0. Okay. So Rams 1-0. Rams 2-0. That's my lock. LA Rams, take it, baby.
I like the pick, especially I don't think the Eagles are nearly as good as the Rams, and the Rams beat a really good Cowboys team. So I like the pick as well. And your underdog pick is coming to us on another Saturday of college football, which was amazing to watch, by the way. But it's going to be a team that I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed watching them play against Florida State, and they upset Florida State last week as 14-point underdogs. This week they are 7.5-point underdogs against the I want to say the newly juggernaut program in UCF. They've been putting out really good years lately. They've put really good years lately. So UCF, the Knights against the Georgia Tech. What are they? The Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets.
Like my bro said here. The Georgia Tech, they're plus 7.5 against UCF. Don't get it twisted. UCF's a good program. They're good, high-powered offense. Okay. Frankly, it scares me to pick this because usually when something looks too good in the betting world, stay away from it. But, 7.5 and Georgia Tech, they pretty much own that game against Florida State. They own that game. And this quarterback from Georgia Tech, he's amazing. He's a freshman, dual threat. He's athletic, strong arm. And he got his first game under his belt. And then they're going to go against UCF, who hasn't played yet. Their first game, and UCF they have a strong defense this year, strong secondary, but they have 5 guys out on the secondary. They opted out due to COVID, 2 starters. So I'm thinking here, they're going to break in new guys in the secondary. First game of the season. I'm not saying the Yellow Jackets are going to win, but I'm going to say that 7.5 points, man, I'll go ahead and take the Yellow Jackets plus 7.5. So that's my underdog pick of the week. Yellow Jackets plus 7.5. Hey.
Yeah. I like it. The only thing about that game is that UCF's traditionally a very disciplined program going against a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks make rookie mistakes. So if UCF can capitalize on it, that's where you can get in trouble. But we're banking on the athleticism. We're banking on the wherewithal of the freshman quarterback and his coaching staff. So to recap, Mandy, your lock of the week is going to be the Rams -1, and then his underdog to try to get you some plus money in that parlay, or if you're doing something like that, is the Yellow Jackets plus 7.5, Georgia Tech versus UCF. Not bad. Let's see if Mandy can go 2-0 again, or get to his second win on the lock and second win in the underdog. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So next up, we got our weekly interview, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, this week, man. Oh man. The last 2 we did some boxing, guys. That was cool. Brought some some change to our show.
International too.
International, right? This week we're going back to it's NFL season, college football season, and we have a college stud with us today. Stephon Wright. Man, get to know the name. It looks like we're building on this connection with Arizona State. He's a defensive lineman, interior lineman over at Arizona State. He's out here from Los Angeles. I had the privilege of teaching Stephon over at Cathedral High School. Coming out of Cathedral, he's a 4-star recruit, big-time recruit, Oklahoma, SC. All these big colleges wanted him. He chose to go to ASU and go be coached by Herm Edwards on that side. And, we're going to go ahead and have a talk with him, and he's going to talk about being a big-time college athlete and, what it takes to play under Coach Herm Edwards. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys like it. All right, what's up, fellas? We got here my boy Stephon, man. I'm so happy he can make it out. Now, Stephon, tell the people out here, our fans, who you are. What are you about, man? Give them a little bio on you.
My name's Stephon Wright. I go to Arizona State University. Proud Cathedral alumni. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going in my red shirt freshman year. I had to red shirt last year because I didn't recover good enough from my shoulder surgery, so I had to sit out. But I still got to play my 4 games, and I'm a cool dude. I get kind of Fernandez. 20 years.
Yeah, man, you kind of mentioned it. I was definitely going to bring it up. The one thing I do remember about you, your senior year at Cathedral, I saw every single one of your games. You're an animal on the defensive line, defensive end, tight end. But man, it pained me to see you against that St. Francis game, right? Senior day, senior night, last game of the season. Was it the first play of the game?
Yep.
Tell us what happened.
Shoot, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this today. It's just when sometimes I get a little bit too competitive. It was the first play of the game. Running back ran a swing play. I was at D and I knew like what they was doing. I was just trying to run fast as ever to kill him. And he just hit me with a little side step, fell on my shoulder, popped out. Senior year done, high school football done.
Yeah, man. I remember you. I just remember you. Like you're in the backfield too, because if you would have tackled that guy, it would be like a 4-yard loss.
Oh yeah, first play of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
would have set the tone for sure.
On one knee. You were on one knee, grabbing your shoulder. They bring you out to Miss Edwards right there, on the side, and I think we all knew that you were done. Your tears were coming down, man. It was so painful to watch. So painful. But that show, I think I told you, it showed you how much heart you gave to the sport because you wanted to be out there. You wanted to go back.
Yeah, that's why that's just why it was St. Francis, like, come on, everybody want to play that game, like, you feel me? So it's like, I mean, hey, it's God, he do things, for a reason. So
yeah, man.
So speaking on that, man, I know you said that you redshirted, right? So you got to play, what was it, 4 games, I believe?
Yep.
So one of those games was UCLA, back in SoCal. Tell me about how that felt, having to see some family at the game and stuff like that.
And I was so crazy because, like, that was just, like, my first time coming home for, like, business. Like, what I'm saying? We landed in LA, traffic, craze, Friday. But just playing in the Rose Bowl at night, like, bro, it's nothing like it, you feel me? Because you grow up watching the Rose Bowl game, watching UCLA play. And it was just surreal for me. I just went out there and played. I had one title, and it was cool.
That's cool. So I asked, we had one of your teammates, another Cathedral alum, Chad Johnson Jr., asked him this question. I'm going to ask you now. How is it playing for Coach Edwards?
Oh, it's amazing. He like a father figure to us. He treats us like professionals and men. He's not one of those coaches just nagging, on you. He tell you what you got to do, and if you don't do it, then it's just next man up. So, he treats us like professionals. Like I told you, I was in a meeting at 7:20 waiting. He said, you ain't 10 to 15 minutes early, then you late. So,
hey, that's awesome.
Absolutely, man. Those are awesome things that you're picking up, and kind of, speaking on Coach Herman and the team, what do you think that your role is going to be, moving forward on this team? I know you guys are kind of delayed this season with COVID and stuff like that, but when and if we eventually do get to see the Pac-12 season, what's Stephon Wright's role going to be on this ASU football team?
Well, we changed defensive coordinators. We run a 4-3 now, so it's more like high school. I had a real hard time last year because I never ran the 3 front ever in high school, and I was a little bit heavier, so it was hard to move every play and all of that. So when next season starts, right now I'm a 2 on a depth chart, and we rotate a lot up front. We do a lot of cool things. So I just I'm just prayed up. Just go stay humble and just just wait to see how the season turn out.
Yeah, take advantage of those opportunities when you get them. Absolutely. I saw another thing that said you had a unique relationship with one of your defensive line coaches. I think it was Coach Kane, I believe.
No, his name is Coach Rodriguez.
Coach Rodriguez, okay.
Line coach. Yeah, he just came in and from scholarship guy to walk-on guys, like he coaches everybody. He don't just beat around the bush and lie and stuff like that. He pretty straightforward. He's a Latino from El Paso. He give us a lot of life lessons and tell us how he grew up and where he comes from and just try to help us just become better men. So like that's a great thing we have in our room right now. It's not it's not really like competition, but it is. But like like, cool. And we appreciate him a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Stephon, for this upcoming season, man, I'm anticipating we get back to some Pac-12 football. Are you playing interior lineman or are you playing DN?
I'm strictly interior now. I play D tackle now. I don't play
one,
man.
Yeah. So who's your favorite interior defensive lineman, like in the NFL?
That's a hard one, bro. Because like I try to watch a lot of NFL film. Like that's all they show us as well is this NFL film. And I really like Akeem Hicks, Grady from the Falcons. those are pretty two that I watched that my coach, tell me my game is kind of molded like.
How about my boy Aaron Donald?
Oh yeah, I mean, the only reason why I didn't mention him because like, bro, AD is different, bro. Like,
he's a freak of nature.
Yeah,
Hands.
like I sit with my coach like 2 hours and like we watch Aaron Donald and he's just like bro, like I mean you could be like that, but I mean that's really he's a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff Aaron Donald do that not the average interior lineman can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's one of those guys, a little undersized, out of a smaller college too, and he's just, I mean, he's a dog, and he just worked on himself time in and time out, and just got there.
He's extremely strong.
Yep, right. Absolutely.
Now, kind of steering away from football a little bit, okay? So now you got to put yourself back in your purple polo shirt with your your khaki shorts, right? Your shirt tucked in, right? You're back in Mr. Fernandez's sixth period. God, that class was horrible. That class was bad. To this day, it was one of my worst classes I've ever had. 34 badass kids, and you sat in the back right corner. All right. Give me one thing. I know it's hard to do in that class. One thing you learned in my U.S. history class.
Just do the work.
Do the work, you'll pass, right?
Just do the work and don't talk too much.
Don't talk too much. All right, hey, that's something, I guess.
Hey, that's a life lesson right there.
That's a life lesson. No, I'm telling you, man, I still have nightmares of that class with your boy Franco and Wally.
Terry.
Terry Alice was in that class. Noah Gonzalez. Oh, man. Guys, it was a bad class.
Well, that's crazy, though. It feel like it was just yesterday, though. Like,
right?
Man, it's crazy.
Awesome.
And then, so we were talking about a little bit before the show, when we were just having a conversation. We talked about your boy Chad Johnson Jr. coming on here and doing a little rap, man. And we talked to him about some of his favorite artists. Who are some of your favorite artists right now in hip hop or just music wise? I know you had a Nipsey Hussle poster up there in the back, and being from LA myself, he's one of my favorites as well. But let me know who are your give me like your top 5 guys you're listening to right now.
Lil Baby, okay. Nipsey, Young Boy, and I listen to a lot of gangster rap like DJ Quick, Pac, Snoop, Mac Dre.
DJ Quick's not a name you hear all the time, man. I love DJ Quick, so that's awesome name drop right there.
All the old stuff, like I'm not.
Yeah. So who's on your pregame playlist? Like you're getting hyped. Like let's say the UCLA game, you were about to play at UCLA, you were pumped to play in LA in front of all those fans. Who was on the AirPods? Who was on the iPhone?
Meek Mill for sure. Yeah, Meek Mill for sure. Baby, man, Chief Keef, songs like that. I had a lot of songs from those three.
Those were all really good hype, man, right there for sure. Meek Mills and Chief Keef, some of my favorites right there, man. So those are nice drop. What's your favorite Chief Keef song?
That's hard. It's between Love Sosa and Finally Rich.
Yeah, I'd say Finally Rich for me for sure. Yeah.
High school, I listened to Finally Rich like 10 times walking from the bus to the locker room or wherever we was at. Like, period.
Yeah. No, I feel that, man. I feel that. Outside of football, what would you say is your second favorite sport, and that you think that you really enjoyed playing? Like, I know for sure for me, football was my favorite sport, or was like I was probably best at football, but my favorite sport to play was basketball, just because I had fun playing it. You know what I mean? Did you have any sport like that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. Nah, man, I don't mess around no more. In March, I messed up and had a high ankle sprain. I was in the boot for like 4 weeks, so I don't do nothing.
To be honest, me being a witness here, I actually do the intramurals at Cathedral. Yeah, your boy Stephon, he's strictly a football guy. He tried playing basketball. And,
yeah, it's not me.
Yeah, and he tried it. That's cool and all, but yeah, he's strictly football. I mean,
I still dunked though. I was hard for that.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that, man. He did dunk the ball. He did dunk the basketball. So that shows his athleticism because Stephon, not only did he play D tackle, I mean, we put you at tight end too, right? I mean, you're a pretty athletic tight end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing, man. I want to ask you. So I played a little bit. In college. Nowhere near as serious as D1. I played on the D line myself. And I know you just got to be a different kind of guy. You just got to be a different kind of animal to play D line, to be willing to go up every single play against the team's biggest dudes, against and people don't realize offensive linemen are super skilled. And the one thing about offensive linemen that a lot of people don't know is they're nasty, man. They're gonna hit you when you're not looking. That's who they are. So tell me the mindset that it takes to be a D1 defensive lineman, man. Tell me what that takes.
Well, to be honest, like, you know what I'm saying, I don't look at it just like what it, you know, what it takes, to be a D1 lineman. Just like, if you just, like put like Aaron Donald, he's not a big D lineman. Yeah. Really what my coach tells us all this time is if you got technique and you know how to use your tools in your toolbox, then you'll be able to produce. And if you study, your opponent every week, you're gonna see their weaknesses. So it's really like, just stand, grounded, humble, keep going hard in the weight room, and just, watch film and just be a technician. I think anybody could do it, to be honest.
So when you watch film, what's something that you're looking for when you're keen on the other offensive linemen?
Just really like techniques, how do they start the game? Do they finish blocks, stuff like that, their weaknesses, and how do they play later in the game when they're tired? So stuff like that.
So my last question to you, Stephon, is going to be, let's be honest, keep it real, 101. Is Stephon Wright going to, if there's a football season this year, is Stephon Wright going to see the field this year?
No, 100%. As long as God willing, keep me healthy, then yeah, I'm gonna be back.
So do you guys travel to UCLA or USC this year?
Yeah, SC.
SC, nice. That's your backyard, right? Coliseum, man.
Yep, down the street from the crib.
So I know for sure, grandma and your mom are gonna be there cheering loud, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
His mom, if you're watching, yes, she's a loud cheerer. So I know that for sure. I still remember that day, Stephon, and you guys walked to my classroom, your mom and you. I got a little scared. But hey, I held my own.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, man,
Stephon, I think that was all the questions we have for you, man, that we were going over. But we're just we appreciate you, coming up on the show. You're definitely one of the guys that, you're about to take off, man. And we feel like you are, watching your film and knowing who you are. You're on that launching platform, man. And these are the guys we want to talk to. And that's why we call it the Next Man Up Sportscast, because who's the next guy? Who's gonna be the up and comers? You know what I mean? And we really feel like you're like that, man. So you're giving us a reason to follow ASU football, man. And we wish you nothing but the best and good health, my man.
Appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Stephon, man. Appreciate seeing you, my guy. Hopefully I see you at the theater real soon.
Yeah, bro. I came up there a gang of times and
I think I saw you once.
Yeah, nobody was like, I come after a loss, nobody there.
Yeah. Next time you're in LA, man, come down for sure.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'm gonna type in with y'all for sure, man.
Sure, for sure. All right, man. I appreciate Stephon. Have a good one.
All right, Stephon. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, that was our guy, Stephon Wright, man. It was awesome being able to talk to him. The guy's got his body right. He's really healthy. He looks great. He's, again, a super humble guy, and that's really a common thing we're seeing with a lot of these athletes that we're talking to. But, yeah, the kid looks ready to go. I'm excited to start watching some ASU football for not only him, but my guy, Chad Johnson.
Yeah, man, I think his body got right from wearing all those chains, man.
Yeah, man, he made me look foolish. I only have one little chain. He got like 6 on, man. I need to get on Stephon's level, man. I need to get there. So
no, but real quick before we transfer out though, I just want to say that I really meant what I said in an interview when we talked about his passion for football. If you guys were there and saw how much emotion he showed when he got hurt and in that game against St. Francis, and the main reason why he wanted to go is because he wanted to win a league title for a Cathedral, and he wanted to play with his family, with his brother on the team. This kid was that right there. I knew for a fact that Stephon was all about his team, and it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the kind of stuff you can't coach right there. But yeah, I mean, it was great talking to Stephon. But as we know, the next part of our show, and we've been doing a couple different things with our segments, and we're gonna switch it up again today. So if you guys can remember, last week we had a guest appearance by the voice of God himself, the mole rat, my guy Mauricio Cobian, our producer, and this week's edition of Rapid Fire Sports Trivia with the voice of God, Mo. Today, Mo's not a big sports guy. He's a very tech producer guy, but the one sport he does know well is WWE, sports entertainment.
It's a sport.
And yes, it is a sport. Yes, it is a sport. Don't sit there and tell me it's not a sport. So we're going to run through some trivia questions with Mo. There's going to be a lot of familiar names that you might know. And then we're going to try to stump Mo and see what we can do.
I used to love professional wrestling, so I'm super excited to go ahead and ask Mo these questions and see his true intelligence in sports.
Let's see what he's got. So, Mandy, you got a couple. I'll ask a couple. Let's get them.
Mr. Mo, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, let's go, brother.
Well, let me tell you something, dude. I had to do that, man. You had to get it. You had to get it.
Love it. Now, Mo, here we go. Question number 1.
Yes.
Rapid fire.
Go ahead.
Who has the most WWF, WWE titles?
All time.
All
All
titles.
time.
I'll give you. There's 2 guys. They're tied. There's 2 guys. Just give me one.
I'm going to have to go off the top of my head. Ric Flair.
Okay.
All right. Do you know who the other one might be? Ric Flair is one, so that is correct.
Oh, John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got both. All right. What's the next question, Mandy? Next question.
Wow, Mo, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Okay,
impressive.
Mo, number 2, Mo. Most tag team titles of all time.
As a
Hey.
team.
Hey, that one's hard. That one's hard for me.
Okay.
Most tag teams?
Yeah.
I don't
Most
know.
tag
I'm
team
gonna
titles.
have to go with the Hardy Boys. No. Edge and Christian?
Okay. He says Edge and Christian. Okay, so on that, who has the most tag team titles individually? Which one wrestler has the most tag team titles
okay.
individually?
Individually.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Wait, what?
So
like
one of
which-
them is as a team, so both guys together have those reigns together, and the other one, individually could mean, like, let's say Kane has 6 titles with the Undertaker, but he has another 6 with, Big Show or something.
Yeah. How long has this guy been around?
Been around a while. He's been around a while, but I'm gonna give you the number. He's had 12
All right, that was my
tag
only.
team title reigns. 12. That's the most.
that was my
all-time
only hint.
individuals.
We don't do hints here, Mo. But
It's that rapid though. All right. Oh man. Individual.
Give me a name. Throw out a name.
Damn, that was hard.
2, 1.
Name.
I don't know. I have to go with like Randy Orton. I don't know.
All
Okay,
right.
no,
Randy Orton was the name. Next question. Highest paid wrestler of all time.
Oh, geez.
Hey, John Cena? No,
It might
John
be. We'll see at
Cena.
the end. Okay. And then this last question. This is our bonus question. So those were most questions. This is the bonus question. So in WrestleMania 23, a match took place which involved Mr. McMahon choosing a wrestler to represent him,
Easy.
and the current POTUS, Donald Trump, choosing a wrestler to represent him. The loser would have to shave the other. Well, the loser got their head shaved. Who was the wrestler selected by Donald Trump, and who was the
Easy.
wrestler selected by Mr.
Easy.
McMahon?
Umaga.
Who selected Umaga?
That what?
Who selected Umaga?
Who picked him?
So you said
Yeah.
Umaga, yeah. Who was he representing? McMahon or
Oh, he was
Trump?
representing Trump.
Okay. And then, so you're saying Lashley was representing McMahon?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's run down the list. So you got Ric Flair and John Cena correct.
Hey,
Very impressive.
Most tag titles of all time. You fell just a bit short. It was the Dudley Boys with 8 titles.
Dudley Boys. Ah.
And the most, see, you were on the right track though. The most tag titles individually was Edge. Edge had 12 titles. Yes.
Yeah,
Highest paid wrestler of all time. Ding, ding, ding. John Cena. So that was correct.
Yes.
You got the wrestlers correct on the WrestleMania 23 question, but Bobby Lashley represented Trump and Umaga represented Mr. McMahon. Lashley beat Umaga. Yeah, Lashley beat Umaga, held Mr. McMahon down, and Trump shaved Mr. McMahon's head. It was pretty eventful, pretty memorable WrestleMania.
Honestly, I didn't watch that pay-per-view, so when the only highlights I saw, I figured like Umaga was always a bad guy. So
yeah,
I think now Trump's a bad guy. So there we go. It is what it is.
That was a good train of thought. So anyway, that was the voice of God himself, the Mole Rat, Mr. Mo, our producer, coming out kind of strong with his rapid fire picks. Those were tough questions. We'll give him a little bit of a break on them. But anyway, Mandy, as we know, the next part of the show is our takeaways. So give me your takeaway for the week.
So I want to go ahead and let's talk about, how fantasy football has definitely impacted how we watch sports.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I think fantasy football is one of the greatest inventions of all time because it actually not forces you, but it makes the game so much interesting. For example, I was talking to our papa, the Big O, this past week. We went over his house for that dinner. And I was trying to explain to him, hey, Papa, man, next year you should do some fantasy football because you're always watching football anyway. Why not make it more interesting and play fantasy football, right? And I was trying to break it down to him how it goes. And as I was breaking it down to him, I was thinking in my head, I go, wow, yeah, man, fantasy football really makes the game interesting. It makes it fun. It makes the average fan who doesn't care about football now very interested in football because, they're worried about now touchdowns, and the score could be, for instance, in the Jets and the Bills game, right? It was like 27-7 at one point, but you're still watching the game because you wanted, Le'Veon Bell, you wanted the quarterback from the Jets, Sam Darnold to score a touchdown. You wanted someone, to score a touchdown and get some more yards and all that stuff. So it makes the games interesting. So now these blowouts, they might be blowouts, but still, you're still watching the game fully intense because, it's a blowout, but you still want your rusher to get a touchdown. You still want that quarterback to get those passing yards. So I think NFL fantasy football is such a great, accessory to actually watching the game. And, man.
I agree, It's revolutionized. It's revolutionized football, and there is no garbage time anymore with football. Is what it is. It's just everything's important, especially to the fans. But my takeaway is a little bit different. And I agree with you on the fantasy football stuff, man. I love it. But one team that I'm a fan of, and I was getting a lot of stuff, people writing this off and saying, "Oh, they're too hurt, and it's gonna happen again to the Yankees." But as I'm talking to you now, they rattled off 6-7 wins in a row, and they're just done well without getting healthy. The guys are coming back now, and the Yankees are gonna just continue to improve. And they're a team that we might not be talking about, we might have written off, but you know what? They're right back in it. They're right back in the race, and they're gonna get a good seeding, and they're gonna be one of the tougher teams to get beat in the playoffs. And I'm excited to see what the Yankees can end up doing. And it always seems that it happens this way for the Yankees. They get hurt, and then they get healthy at the right time. And I think right now you're going to see the Yankees rattle off a really great end to the season and let that momentum push them right back into the playoff season. And, Mandy, quick question for you. Who leads the MLB in home runs?
I know this answer. If I'm not mistaken, it's the guy from the Yankees. The white guy. Not LeMahieu, not him. He has a weird kind of name. I know he wears a shirt kind of like unbuttoned.
He's buff too. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it? I forgot his name.
Luke Voigt.
Luke Voigt, yes.
Luke Voigt, a guy who has come in, played first base for the Yankees, and really filled the void with Judge and Stanton. Now, you might have thought Judge was going to lead the league in home runs, but a different Yankee. Luke Voigt is leading the league with 18 home runs, playing stellar, and we're looking forward.
I knew that. Haha.
We're looking forward to see what the Yankees are doing with the rest of the season. But anyway, that was our show. That was episode 9. Thank you so much for joining us. Share our page. If you like the show, recommend it to your homies. Let them know, we got some good sports topics out there for them. And if you need some fantasy help, we're going to continue that 2-minute segment every week. So have a good one, everybody. Enjoy.
Go Rams, baby. Go Rams.
Raider Nation.